Hey guys, Shadow the Rat, and for today's video, I'm going to be doing another cage tour of my rat's Triple Critter Nation. So as you can see here, I've done a bit of a Christmas/holiday theme, and I didn't go as far this year as I did in some past years, but I think I still did a pretty good job trying to theme it to, well, the more holiday colors and themed items. So let's go ahead and start with the top unit. As you can see, I have my rat's free range thing set up, which is velcroed to the cage. So hopefully that means that the rats will not be getting out. So first up, we have, oh, they're not going to be happy when I pull this away from them. Sorry, guys. So first up, we have this side where I basically have my rat's food tumbler. This is a bird food tumbler with some oxbow in it, along with a chew from Imperfect Hammocks. And then I also have this little garland on the back. You can also see I've taped on a little piece of wrapping paper to make it more Christmassy themed. But otherwise, that's pretty much that wall right there. And then on this side, we have two chinchilla ledges. You can see the rats put some oxbow on them, but the more important thing, at least in the rat's mind, is going to be this little thing above. This is a rice pop, and it's basically a treat for the rats to eat. I have it on some pipe cleaner, and it's hung up with some C-clips. And I have several of them in the cage, but most notably on this wall, I have this one, and of course that one down there with Donut. And then I also have another chew from Imperfect Rat Hammocks right here. And hello, little Donut. And of course this one has its own little garland as well. And I will be removing the garlands after this video because otherwise the rats would just pull them in and chew them. They're just to add a little bit of pizzazz while I'm filming. So other than that, we have up here quite a few things. I'm going to flip over this tissue box. But the first thing you can see is this Living World bird water dish, which is just attached to the bars. And it has some water for the rats to drink, just like that, as you can see. Thank you, Donut. And then next to it, I have a Oasis water bottle. This one is 4 ounces. It's the red one with the white bottle. And then above that, you can see one of the rat's space pods. It has some of this little tissue paper in it, and that probably comes from one of the tissue papered things below. And then next to that, you can see part of a tissue box that I've wrapped in wrapping paper. It has a bow on it, and it also has part of a chew underneath. And then in the back, you can see this rock I have in the cage, which is honestly just there because, well, I had it to help block off the cage when I had some male rats that I was watching, and I just never really took it out. Moving on from the rock, we have this hammock here, which is also from Imperfect Rat Hammocks. You can see it's really nice quality, and it has this adorable little mushroom pattern on the outside, and it's also red and green themed, so perfect for this cage theme. And then up front, we have this little tissue box from Kroger. It's also nicely themed with some snowflakes, and I put a bow on it at the top. And then here we have this little dish. I'm not really sure what this is for, but I got it at one of these thrift shops a while back. And it's basically a ceramic set of 3 ornaments, which I put some oxbow in because it works as a really nice little rat food holder. And then in the back, you can see the Ratty Box hide from 2020. Right here, we have another of the chinchilla ledges. And then finally, we have these 2 pans. This one here is a cookie sheet, and I just put some red tissue paper on it to make it more festive. And this one here is a Bass Equipment pan with some yesterday's news in it, just like this one. And that has some green tissue paper on it to also make it more festive. So apparently I forgot to mention 2 things up here. First, we have a frisbee, which just has some hooks coming out of it. It's just a green frisbee. I thought it would work with the red and green theme. And it has some fleece in the middle. And then we also have this hammock here, which is just a piece of felt, which I've hung on all 4 corners with some C-clips. So that is pretty much the top part of the first unit. And moving down, I know there's a lot of stuff, but first we have this little rope right here. And we have another rope on the side. And both of these ropes are from the Ratty Box subscription service. In the back, we have this hammock right here, which has some patterns on it. Snowflakes, snowman, little ornaments and stuff like that. And this is from December's Ratty Box of this year, 2021. And you can see some of the rats. I have actually opened the door, so they're just coming out and running around. But anyways, next to that, we have one of my rat's foraging toys. This one is just a coconut tower. This comes from Exotic Nutrition, and it has some oxbow in it. And then in the very back, you can see my first double-decker shelf. This is a closet shelf. You can find them at Lowe's or Home Depot or other sorts of stores with kitchen shelves and so forth. And it has some felt and fleece binder clipped onto it. And I also believe part of a old holy bed sheet, which is what the green thing is. We've had that bed sheet forever, so once it developed a lot of holes, we just decided to use it for the rats. So moving up, first we have a beautiful little Olive. Hello, Olive. And she is sitting on the fourth and final chinchilla ledge. And next to that I have a Katie Chew toy, which comes from the Ratty box. And next to that we have another of the Imperfect Rat hammocks. And this one is a triple decker. I have seen the rats sleeping in this several times already, and they've only had this cage set up for 2 days, so I was really impressed with how much they like these hammocks. Next to that we have a tunnel hammock. You can see I've just hung this on the side. Anyways, moving on from that, I'm going to finally move to the second unit. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long tour, but there's just so much stuff in the cage. I really did a huge overhaul. So first up on the bottom, we have on this right door this double-decker shelf. It has this little snack rack with this is basically a bird foraging toy. Now other than that, we have another of these little rice pops. This one has a few chunks taken out of it. And down here we have yet another rice pop, but this one is quite small. It was the last piece of red I had in the bag, and I really wanted to hang it up, so that's where I put it. And next to that I have a chew. This one is another Katie Chew, and it's also from the Ratty box. So moving to the other side, we have another shelf. This one just slips over the top of the cage, and it's meant for bathrooms. And it has some felt binder clipped onto it, along with another Rice Krispie, along with another rice pop hung above it. They're not Rice Krispies, but they do look kind of like them. And another of the Imperfect Rat Hammock chews right here. And this here is also another Imperfect Rat Hammock chew. And this one has some wooden beads, which the rats really like to chew these up, along with some cupcake holders. And some of these little rice pops in between, which the rats are really going to enjoy. So moving down, we have another 4-ounce Oasis water bottle, and then we have the main attraction, which is this big 15-inch wheel. This is from Exotic Nutrition, and it has some peppermint wrapping paper, I want to call it, on it. I've just taped that on to make it look kind of neat as it spins. As you can see, it doesn't change the sound or anything like that. It's still completely quiet as the rats run on it. Well, other than the sound of their little tippy-tap feet. And in the back, we have 2 more of these 4-ounce Oasis water bottles. And next to that, we have this large metal thing, the U-shaped thing, and that is a sink organizer. It comes from a local thrift shop. That has a hammock hanging on it made of this felt. This is just a felt square, which I've hung up with some C-clips and some shower clips. And then moving down, we have this little house here. This is a hide from the Ratty box subscription service. And that's actually this year, 2021's December hide. I am not trying to give you treats, Egg. You're not spinning for anything. I don't know why she thought I was cueing her to spin. You're too smart, you little nugget. Yeah, that's right. I see you're trying to beg for some Treatos. You have tons of Treatos in the cage. So here we have a Rodney Space Igloo. And this used to have a bow on it, but I guess the rats decided to tear it off. And in the corner we have one of these little paper tubes. This is, I believe, for oatmeal, and I just covered it in some wrapping paper and a little bow, which you can't really see here, but I promise you it's on there. Oh, and on that note, I also put little bows on each side of this, and the rats are going to enjoy destroying those like the little mischief makers they are. So here we have this little knot nibbler, which is getting quite destroyed, and another wooden shoe, which the rats have pretty much completely destroyed. Thank you, Donut. And in the back, this little snowflake tunnel. This is from December's Ratty box from last year, so again 2020. And the rats really enjoyed tearing up all the inner pieces, so now all that's left is the outside, which they will probably tear up as well. And the last thing in here is this big rock formation. This is just an old fountain from one of my neighbors, which is completely hollowed out inside, and which I have cut off the inner workings. So it's basically just a hollow fake rock, and it has 2 entrances, one on this side and one on the other, that allow the rats to enter and exit at will. So now it's time to move to the last cage unit, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So this is the last cage unit, and first we have this side, which I'm keeping open with my foot because these 2 water bottles are kind of pushing against the walls of my playpen. But basically I have 2 water bottles right here. These are the Choco No Drip water bottles. And again, I've taped on some festive little pieces of wrapping paper, which you can see on the back of the water bottles. And other than that, I also have these little wreaths above them on both that side and this side, which of course I'm going to take off after this video. Anyways, other than that, moving to the other side, I have another double-decker shelf with some felt and sheets binder clipped on. And then I also have some toilet paper on a pipe cleaner for the rats to tear up. And above that, I have yet another rice pop on another pipe cleaner. So that's it for the sides. First up, we can see the rat's foraging wheel. That is actually for birds, but rats love it quite a bit as well. And it has a little opening right here and here that the rats have to move around in order to get to the different food pockets. And then right here we have another frisbee hung up with some C-clips and pipe cleaner, and this has some felt resting in it so the rats can use it as a nest, or they can just nest with the felt, whatever they like. And moving down, we have another box wrapped like a present with some wrapping paper and a bow. And here is another one that's also wrapped, but this time with some tissue paper and 2 bows. And finally, we have another wrapped box right here, which is basically a red version of this one right here. It's still using tissue paper, and it has a green bow. And then in the very middle, we have this nice large 20-gallon long tank, which has a bunch of crinkled paper in it, which is what my rats like to dig in. So this whole box is filled with digging material, and they like to make little burrows in it, especially as it gets colder. And moving up to the side shelf right here, I have this little box which has more snowflakes on it, and this is from Kroger. And then right here I have a space pod with some tissues in it, and next to that is this little chew. This came from Ratty Box as well. It used to have a little white wooden bead in the middle, but the rats have apparently chewed that up, and as you can see, they are chewing this one up as well. Then moving on from that, we have this box in the back, which is just a large box covered in more wrapping paper and a little bow on top. And next to it, we have the 4th and final Imperfect Mischief hammock, and this one is a Peekaboo Hammock, which you can see the rats can go inside the hole and sleep inside the layers, which they really like. And then up front we have this little bin. This is from the Dollar Tree, and it's just hung up with some shower clips, and it has more of this sheet in the middle for the rats to just rest on or nest with or whatever they want. But other than that, I don't really think there's anything else to show you, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an overview real quick. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the rat's Christmas/holiday themed cage. And well, I'd love to hear if any of you have done themed cages yourself. But yeah, other than that, I just hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!